Thanks to Modulo, JJK Leaks are back in full effect, and it's a problem. Readers get spoiled every week, Agenda Kaisen is back, the fandom has become even more toxic, and reading comprehension is at an all-time low, most of which is a direct result of these Modulo leaks. So in this video, I'm going to be exposing how leaks, even exist in the first place, how they work, how they do nothing but damage the community, and just overall ranting about how terribly these Modulo leaks are being handled, thanks to the childish incompetence and ignorance of the current leakers themselves, who, by the way, get very upset when people talk bad about them. They were not very happy about Orion's video, and they were not happy when I said on stream that I'd be making a similar video. To be fair, I don't think they're all necessarily crappy people, but, they're just kind of young, foolish, and naive, I guess. But based on some messages they've sent me, they've sent other creators, and just the things that they say in their own Discord server, I think they need a reality check because they do not seem to understand why leaks are nothing but damaging and not something that deserves any kind of praise. But anyway, let's actually jump into it. Okay, let's start with how leaks, even exist in the first place. How exactly do they work? Mangakas, such as Gege Akutami, are always actually making chapters 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time, meaning that a chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen is finished and sent to Shueisha 2 weeks before it is meant to be released. 5 or so days before the chapter officially releases on Sunday or Monday, the printed copies of the next Shonen Jump magazine are sent to stores in Japan, which means that these stores actually have them before they are allowed to be sold. When the stores, receive the magazines, certain people in Japan will basically go and just straight up bribe the store owners to give them a copy of the magazine before it's released. And from what I've been told, we're talking anywhere between $50 and $200 as a bribe. These people then take photos of the pages and sell them to the people who translate the pages and post them online for roughly $100 per chapter. So back in the day, they would be sent to Miyamura, Myth, etc. And these days, Modulo leaks are sent to Pace and those bozos running that Discord server. Now, what's interesting is that, back in 2024 with OG JJK Leaks, there is actually, a full structured team of people behind the scenes. So you have the dude who, bribes the stores, and then that dude sells the pages to the people on our end. And they have, a designated translator, they have designated posters, they have typesetters, you name it. They have, a full group of people that do this. The actual current JJK Modulo leakers are a different team, but the translator is the same as back in the day, I believe, or at least that's what I've been told. And from what I've seen, this person does not speak a word of Japanese and they barely speak English at all. Which, begs the question, how are they translating from Japanese to English? Well, that and some other stuff regarding how things have actually been translated in the past all kind of strongly implies that we're doing this using AI. Which, would explain why the translations suck so much and why it causes so much misinformation in the community. I mean, it's actually kind of hilarious because from the information I've seen from certain reliable sources that I've asked not to be named, the so-called leaks team that worked back on OG JJK just took themselves way too seriously for a bunch of people that literally just steal and distribute a manga. From my own experience with the current leakers and the experiences of other actual leakers who worked on JJK in the past, have actually worked with this one specific translator who, is using AI, and this person doesn't seem like a very nice person at all, and they display behavior that is absolutely deserving of the title Chronically Online Clout Chaser. But as much as I think that sucks, I also just find it equally funny that the people who work on leaks get genuinely butthurt over being treated poorly by the people that they quote-unquote work with. They're straight up talking as if, they're a company, and this translator is a bad employee who needs to be reported to HR. Bruv, can we get a reality check, please? You guys just steal and distribute manga with AI translations for clout on the internet. Can we be serious for a second? Actually, no, it's not even just for clout anymore because the current leakers have found the actual balls to open a fucking Patreon in the hopes of scamming some people off extra cash. The whole thing is just ridiculous, and a lot of their attitudes and behavior is incredibly frustrating to watch, especially because of how ignorant they seem to be over how much damage leaks do to the fandom, which is what we're gonna dive into a bit deeper now. Though don't worry, I'll be clowning on the leakers much more later on in the video, but I want the discussion about why leaks are so damaging to be the main focus of the video. Okay, don't get me wrong, leaks have always been bad, but like Orion said in his video, there was a small silver lining to them back when Miyamura posted them, in OG JJK. You would get one translated page posted in regular 10 to 15 minute intervals, leaving time for the internet to create memes and slander, and it did benefit the community positively in some ways. But does this make up for all the misinformation, the fact many people only read leaks instead of the actual chapter, and the amount of people who just get blatantly spoiled on the chapter as a result? No, not really. These days though, these Modulo leakers just be dumping all the pages in the Discord without translations, and then they post them later on once their AI is kicked in and they actually know what's been said in the chapter. The bottom line is that there's just no benefit to these Modulo leaks, only downsides. You don't even get to read the chapter early. Like, I feel like there's a common misconception with JJK Leaks where it's like, oh, I read them because I want to know what happens and I get to see the chapter early. But you don't. Like, you blatantly don't. You still have to wait an entire week for the next chapter. Thursday to Thursday. It's the same as Sunday to Sunday. It's a week. But instead of waiting 1 week for the full high-quality scans with actual translations and no missing pages, you wait a week for an objectively worse experience. The scans suck, the translations suck, it makes people jump to conclusions and push agendas that then get immediately shut down by the official chapter, and they will often just miss entire pages. The worst part about all of this though is that if you don't read leaks but you do own a mobile device and do consume literally any kind of social media at all, then you will be spoiled. You will be jump scared by random pages from the chapter with no context, and more often than not, they will be the most important, most hype, and most impactful pages in that chapter. Basically, you'll be spoiled on the pages that you least want to get spoiled on. So when I complain about leaks, I always tend to get replies saying like, oh, just block the leakers, just don't go on Twitter, just mute the hashtags. Bruv, it's not even close to being that simple. People will blatantly post the pages without any tags, and not just on Twitter. If you use TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, then you will encounter the exact same thing. The only actual way to avoid leaks properly is to flush your phone down the toilet and remove yourself from the internet from Thursday until Sunday, which is obviously unfair, unreasonable, and pretty much impossible. This is exactly why people, like myself, who complain about leaks and are against leaks, still read them. It's because we have to. You see, I love Jujutsu Kaisen, and because I love it, I would much rather read these crappy leaks of my own free will in a somewhat coherent order than be inevitably jump scared by a contextless panel of Yuji doing the craziest thing we've ever seen in the whole series and have my weekly experience completely ruined. Alright, here's a good example for what I'm trying to say, okay? The reason why you see me consume JJK leaks and not Kagurabachi leaks is because there is currently almost no risk of me being spoiled on Kagurabachi leaks before the official release, because they aren't anywhere near as prevalent as JJK leaks. I don't have to consume them, so I don't, but the same does not apply for Jujutsu Kaisen. When I go on stream or, make a video complaining about leaks, I often get messages in chat, or even sometimes messages from actual leakers themselves, which I'll explore a bit more later on, complaining that I'm being hypocritical for complaining about leaks and still reading them. I don't have a choice, bruv. It's either read them or be spoiled. That is the crappy reality that these leakers have created and then have the audacity to cry about when people call them out for it. Now, maybe you haven't noticed it, to be fair, but when I stream myself reading the Modulo leaks, or make a second channel, video discussing my thoughts on the Modulo leaks, I keep the title and thumbnail completely spoiler-free, and I show absolutely nothing. We're talking 0 scans shown. I also just give a fat disclaimer at the beginning of every review, saying that whatever I say should be taken with a handful of salt thanks to the awful translations. It's like Orion said in his video, yeah?
I have immense respect for YouTubers like Allons-Y, Noop, or Manganimus for just having Modulo Chapter X spoilers as a title with a completely irrelevant thumbnail. It allows for people that want to engage with the leaks to get their fix, while those that don't can freely scroll without seeing some bullshit like Yuji unlocks his third eye, Samurian god?
I have immense respect for creators such as No Operator and Manganimist for also keeping their leak-related content completely spoiler-free in terms of the title and thumbnail. Overall, this is really helping us to avoid the situation that we ended up in for OG JJK, where YouTube was full to bursting with blatant clickbait spoiler titles and thumbnails that just show the full scans. This way, we can share our thoughts about the leaks without spoiling anybody who doesn't want to see it. And yes, if you were to call me out on being hypocritical here, then that would be completely fair and valid, because back in original Jujutsu Kaisen, I was one of the many creators that would make leak review videos while using spoiler titles and thumbnails, and for that, I'm sorry. At the time, I was overexcited about my YouTube blowing up, and I was very naive. You can call me hypocritical all you want, it doesn't change the fact that learning from those mistakes and improving myself as a creator is the objectively better path for me to take than just saying, fuck it, I did it last time, so I might as well do it now. To be honest, my mindset back then was actually similar to what I'm seeing from the current leakers. It's a very, if I don't do it, someone else will kind of mindset, which to be fair is true. Everyone else was already doing it, so I thought, one more creator wouldn't really hurt. But I've since realized that that kind of acceptance is why nothing changes, and it's why I'm happy to see other creators also refraining from spoiling leaks in their titles and thumbnails with Modulo. This in itself proves that it's just not too late to change things, especially since JJK is likely going to get more content in the future. Anyway, let's talk about the leakers themselves a bit more, because they have definitely been showing some, questionable behavior recently. When I crashed out about leaks on stream and when Orion made his video, some leakers in that server didn't take too kindly to it, and we even received DMs trying to justify what they were doing by saying things like, if we don't do it, someone else will, which kind of just supports my point that they are overexcited and naive, just like I was back in OG JJK. A lot of them clearly don't understand the consequences of their actions. From my conversation with someone involved in leaking Modulo, I came to the realization that they aren't all crappy people, but rather just very ignorant. They first tried justifying what they were doing by saying that they just wanted to be a part of something they loved, which in this case was JJK, and that leaks were an amazing experience to be a part of. They then tried justifying leaks by explaining how manga leaks have always been a thing, and how unofficial fan translations have benefited many fandoms. So, for that reason, we shouldn't try to change it for JJK, which is very silly, for two reasons. The first problem is that this shows the leakers are aware of how damaging leaks are, but have decided it's worth it anyway. It's a very, it's always been bad, so it might as well stay bad kind of argument, which is just silly. I mean, look, right, I'll put it this way, okay? Drug trafficking has been a thing since forever, and it will probably always be a thing. Does that mean authorities should just, give up on trying to stop it? Hell no. No one thinks that. Well, except from drug dealers, probably. But, that's the kind of logic that they're throwing at me here. The other issue is that leaks and fan translations are not even close to the same thing. Fan translations, such as TCB, benefit the community when official translations do inevitably fail, but in absolutely no reality do fan translations need leaks in order to exist. They can just do it with the official material, so this is a nothing burger argument with no correlation to leaks. The final argument thrown at me just made me give up on the conversation entirely though. JJK hasn't suffered because of leaks, and Gege hasn't suffered because of leaks. Oh, and when I pointed out that many people crap all over Gege's life's work because of leaks, I got a response saying, Gege already has enough glazes. First of all, Gege's a human being, bruv, he's not a robot. Just because he has glazes doesn't mean that he might as well have some, baseless haters too, because again, he's a person, not a manga-generating machine. The other main problem with this argument is that it's just wrong, it's just incorrect. Claiming JJK and Gege don't suffer because of leaks is objectively false. JJK reading comprehension and brain-dead agenda is often a direct result of people reading leaks and not sitting down to read the officials like intended. Hell, even reading TCB would be fine if you don't like the official translations. Again though, these are the claims of one individual who I genuinely believe has no bad intentions, but is just blissfully ignorant of the consequences of what they are doing. And then, though, there are the leakers who are just straight up disrespectful, weird dumbasses who have the audacity to go online and complain that people aren't being grateful enough to them for spending money on these leaks. I kind of just want to address those types of leakers directly in this section. If you didn't leak the manga, no one would fucking care. No one would even know what they were missing, and everybody would simply read the chapter on a Sunday to the same effect, but with solid translations, high quality, and coherent scans that are actually in order. You choose, you actively choose to pay, $100 a week to ruin countless people's experience so that you can, clout chase on the internet. Bro, these guys who leak in the Discord do it for love of the game and then cry when people call them out for ruining the chapter. And just the way that some of them, talk as if they deserve praise for leaking the chapter, and even the way some of them talk like the chapter belongs to them, it's just it's silly. It's so dumb, bro. It's just straight up entitled and idiotic dumbness. Okay, look, for example, there was that one incident where a Modulo leaker crashed out on Twitter because other leakers were taking his pages and removing his watermark. Motherfucker, what do you mean your pages? The chapter does not belong to you, you just blatantly stole it. It's like those TikTok clips where crackheads call the police because someone stole their drugs that they illegally bought. It's so dumb. They're just clout chasers, bruv. Plain and simple, and the very fact that they throw temper tantrums and immediately ban people who so much as react to a message with the middle finger emoji shows the type of childish people we're dealing with here. I mean, when Orion made his video crapping on leaks, and then I said I was gonna make one too, that one translator dude who I talked about earlier crashed out in a Discord chat with his other buddy leakers, saying how we need to be instantly banned from the leak server, as if we gave a fuck. How about instead of throwing a childish tantrum, you just get a job, bro? How about that, Go ahead and call me hypocritical and continue to try and justify yourself, it won't change the facts. If you don't want to spend your money on the leaks and you don't want to deal with the backlash you face for doing it, then there is a very simple solution. Just don't do it. And if you are gonna keep doing it, then at the very least, shut the fuck up. Obviously, I'm expecting loads of like leaks writers to comment with some no you ass reply that completely ignores all of my points in the video. That's just how it is, that's just how this works. But I'm glad I made this video because I do think it needed saying, and I did want to just educate people on the process of how leaks work a bit. Again, I am sorry for jumping on the YouTube spoiler bandwagon back in OG JJK. All I can do from now on is just be better and encourage others to do the same, which obviously I know this video isn't going to convince any leakers to suddenly switch up, but I can try, alright? I can at least try. Overall, I definitely do not blame anyone for reading leaks weekly because, again, we have been put in a situation where you literally have to read them if you don't want to be randomly spoiled. But anyway, that's all from me today, right? That's all I have to say on it. Remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in a bit.